Maybe it happened gradually. Your mom started forgetting things or getting unsteady on the stairs. Or maybe it happened all at once. A phone call from the hospital, a discharge form, and suddenly you're standing in a doorway wondering, what do I do now? Nobody trained you for this. Nobody gave you a manual. And here's the truth. Most family caregivers start exactly where you are right now. Completely new, a little scared, and deeply wanting to get it right. This video is your starting point. By the end of it, you'll have a clear picture of what to focus on first, what mistakes to avoid, and, most importantly, how to care for someone you love without losing yourself in the process. Welcome to Vitality Caregiving. I'm here every week with practical, evidence-based guidance for family caregivers. People like you caring for a loved one at home. Before we dive in, a quick note. Everything in this video is for educational purposes only. For any specific medical concerns about your loved one, always speak with their doctor or healthcare team. Now, let's get you some real answers. Here is the single most important thing I want you to hear today. And I want you to really let it sink in, because it will change how you approach everything else. Don't do for an elderly person what they can still do for themselves, even if it takes 3 times longer. I know, when you see someone you love struggling to button a shirt or walking slowly across the room, every instinct in you wants to jump in and help. But here's what the research tells us. And this is backed by the World Health Organization's own guidelines on integrated care for older people. Every time we take over a task that someone could still do with a little more time and effort, we accelerate the loss of that ability. The muscles weaken, the confidence fades, and what started as a kindness gradually becomes dependency. The goal of home care is never just to keep someone safe and clean and the Federal Reserve. The goal is to preserve as much independence, dignity, and active life as possible, for as long as possible. Caregiving done well isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things, at the right moments, in the right way. Keep that in mind as we go through everything else today. Before you can help someone, you need to understand what kind of help they actually need. And this requires an honest, clear-eyed look at their daily life. Not what you hope they can do, and not what they used to do a year ago. What can they actually do right now? Healthcare professionals use 2 categories to assess what someone needs help with. The first is basic daily activities, things like eating, bathing, getting dressed, moving from a bed to a chair, and using the toilet. The second is complex daily activities, things like managing medications, shopping, cooking, handling finances, and using the phone. Start by honestly going through both lists for your loved one. Which things can they still do on their own? Which things do they struggle with? Which things are no longer safe for them to do alone? Write it down. Seriously, get a notebook, because your first assessment becomes your reference point. Over weeks and months, you'll be able to see what's stable, what's improving, and what's declining. And that information is invaluable when you talk to your loved one's doctor. One more thing here. When you're assessing someone with any cognitive difficulties, memory problems for example, their own account of how they're doing may not be completely accurate. That's normal, and it's not intentional. It simply means you need to observe as well as ask. Here's the thing about falls. A fall is not just a fall when you're over 70. It can mean a broken hip, a hospital stay, a significant decline in independence, and months of recovery. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury and disability in older adults. And the good news, genuinely good news, is that many falls are preventable with simple changes at home. Let me walk you through the 5 areas that matter most. Floors first. Remove any rugs that have curling edges, or secure them flat with double-sided tape. Clear cords, shoes, and anything else that could catch a foot. Then lighting. The path from the bedroom to the bathroom in the middle of the night is genuinely one of the highest risk zones in the home. A simple motion sensor nightlight can make a real difference. The bathroom. This is where many falls happen. Non-slip mat in the shower or bath, non-slip mat on the floor, and grab bars mounted properly, bolted into the wall studs, not suction cup attached. Suction cups cannot hold a person's full weight if they lose their balance. Please don't rely on them. Footwear. This one surprises a lot of people. Walking in socks on a smooth floor is genuinely dangerous for older adults. Get a pair of non-slip indoor shoes or slippers with a proper sole, and make it a household rule. And finally, emergency access. Your loved one should always have a way to call for help within arm's reach. A phone, a personal alarm, or even just a habit of keeping a charged mobile on their person at all times. Once the home is as safe as you can make it, the daily care itself begins. As a beginner, I want you to focus on 4 foundational areas. Not everything at once, just these 4, done consistently and done well. Number 1, hygiene. This is more than just cleanliness. Proper skincare, especially for someone who is less mobile, is your first line of defense against pressure injuries and skin infections. Always be gentle. Never rub the skin, only pat it dry. Pay special attention to skin folds, between toes, and any area where moisture can accumulate. Number 2, nutrition and hydration especially. Older adults often feel less thirst than they actually need, which means dehydration can sneak up quietly. Aim for 6 to 8 cups of fluid a day, spread through the day. Water, herbal tea, diluted juice, soups. Small amounts offered regularly, rather than waiting for someone to say they're thirsty. Also, if your loved one has any swallowing difficulties, please speak with their doctor or a speech therapist before changing anything about how they eat or drink. Swallowing problems are more common than most people realize, and they carry real risks if not managed properly. Number 3, movement. Even if your loved one is mostly at home, movement matters enormously. Sitting in one position for too long is genuinely dangerous for the skin, for circulation, and for muscle strength. Encourage small walks around the house, chair-based exercises, even just regular position changes. This is not about fitness, it's about preventing decline. And number 4, connection. This one gets overlooked all the time, but the World Health Organization is very clear that social isolation is a major risk factor for deteriorating health in older adults. That means regular conversation, interest in their day, shared activities where possible, even 10 minutes of genuine engagement, a cup of tea together, looking at old photos, a short walk, can have an outsized effect on someone's mood, motivation, and cognitive health. As a caregiver, one of the most important skills you'll develop is knowing what's a normal part of aging and what's a red flag. Here are the warning signs that always require a call to your loved one's doctor or medical team. Don't wait and see. Don't Google it. Call. A sudden fall, even if your loved one seems completely fine and waves it off, always warrants a medical check. Internally, things can happen that aren't visible, and a sudden change in confusion, speech, or facial expression should be treated as urgent. Those can be signs of a stroke or another time-sensitive medical event. In that case, call emergency services immediately. You are not being overcautious by calling the doctor. You are being a good caregiver. Your observations at home, the things you notice because you're there every day, are genuinely valuable information for the medical team. Share them. I want to spend just a moment here because this part gets skipped over, and it shouldn't. Caregiving is meaningful, and it can also be genuinely exhausting. The research on caregiver stress is clear. Burnout is real, it's common, and it makes it harder to give good care to the person who depends on you. Looking after yourself is not selfish. It is, in fact, part of providing good care. Watch for these signs in yourself. Persistent exhaustion, even after sleep. Increasing irritability. Feeling unable to concentrate. Losing interest in things you used to enjoy. Withdrawing from friends and family. Any of these, sustained over time, are signs that you need support, and support is available. Talk to your own doctor. Ask family members to step in. Look into local respite care options, which can give you a few hours or even a few days of proper rest while your loved one continues to receive care. And here is something I'd like you to remember. Something that I think is both simple and profound. You cannot pour from an empty cup. The best thing you can do for the person you're caring for is to stay healthy, rested, and emotionally supported. That is not a luxury, that is a prerequisite. So, let's do a quick recap of what we've covered today. The Golden Rule: support what your loved one can still do for themselves, don't replace it. An honest assessment of their daily needs. A safer home environment. The 4 daily care pillars: hygiene, nutrition, movement, and connection. The warning signs that mean call the doctor now, and the reminder, which I hope you'll really hold on to, that your own well-being matters too. This is the beginning of a journey. It will have hard days, but it will also have moments of closeness and meaning that you might not expect. You're not alone in this, and you don't have to figure it all out today. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more families find this content. Subscribe to Vitality Caregiving so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you have a question or a situation you'd like me to cover, drop it in the comments. I read them all. Take care of yourself. and of the people you love. Subscribe to Vitality Caregiving. New videos every week. Like this video. Leave a question below.